Hi everyone, Brad Drew here. I wanted to share with you a little video on how I created an image today that I had a lot of fun with. I went out yesterday and it was a very dreary day, and I just drove in the countryside. We just had a little bit of snow a day or so ago, and it was still covering the ground. But the sky was really overcast. But I used the new phone, the 12 Pro Max, and I used the new RAW feature that was enabled with Monday's release of iOS 14.3. And you'll notice when you look at this image up in the upper left there, it says that it's a RAW file. What I'm going to do, if you aren't shooting RAW with or you have an earlier phone, you can still do this same process. But I'm going to, rather than use Snapseed or something like that yet, I'm going to go out and tap on the Edit button here up at the upper right corner, and I'm going to use the editor that is built into the phone. It's Apple's iOS 14.3 editor. And the first thing I'm going to do is just tap the Auto Adjust button, which often does a nice, you can see just that one tap brought out some drama in the sky and did some things with the image. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through each of these, exposure and so on. I'm not going to do a whole lot with that. I am going to go all the way down here to the end to sharpness, and I'm going to zoom in on this tree a little bit, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of sharpness and a little bit of definition, which is kind of similar to the structure slider if you're familiar in Snapseed. That's all I'm going to do with this image at this point in this editor. So I'm going to tap Done, and it returns the image back out here to the camera. Now, what's interesting, it still says it's a RAW file, but actually, because we've opened it and edited it, it's really no longer a RAW file. We're going to copy, or we're going to take it into another app here in a minute. So what I want to do, what I envisioned with this was just some texture in the sky and a little bit of light play. So for that, I'm going to choose an app that I really enjoy. It's right here. It's called LensLight. It's in the second row there. And I'm going to tap on that, open it up. This is what the interface looks like. And I'm going to tap on the big Photos button there in the center of the screen. And I'm going to go to my albums and my recent photos. And it's not there. Where is it? Okay. I'm lying to you already. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. We have to go down here to... Here it is. This is it right here. The reason I was looking for it at the end of my camera roll, but because I used the editor in the iPhone, it's actually adjusting the image and making changes to it that you can undo, but it doesn't put the image at the end of the camera roll. It leaves it right here in its place. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that and open it up. So there's the image that I just edited. I'm going to go up and tap the check mark up at the upper right to accept it. I could crop it or do some things, but I don't need to. I'm going to go ahead and click the check mark. And there's our image. And what I want to do now is choose some effects for that. So I'm going to tap on the effects button down here. And it's already brought me into some light glows. But if I tap on this little, these 3 rows with bulleted list here, I can tap on that, and these are all the different packs. Now, I think some of these were probably in-app purchases. So if you have this app and you don't see all of these, you may still have the opportunity to purchase them. I'm going to go and tap on lights and glows right here, and this is the palette of things that are in that particular collection. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, so you can find lots of different things that may work for you. The one I'm going to choose is this one down here at the bottom called a search cone. I'm going to tap on it, and there's my light. And by taking 2 fingers on the screen, I can size it and I can arrange it. So I'm going to move it up here, and I want the source of that light to be kind of outside the frame. So now it's kind of looking like that. And now I want to edit that that search cone light that I added. So I'm going to tap on the Edit button right down at the bottom. There we go. And now I have all these different options. I can scale it. If I slide up and down, I can make it larger or smaller here on the scale. I want it to be something about like that, I think. I can make it not so bright, so I can tone it down a little bit, maybe something about like that. And I could pull it down by arranging it. I can kind of move it around. I want it maybe about right there. Then I'm going to go to opacity, and I could drop the opacity down or up, maybe down just a little bit so it's not real hot. And then I can blur it too, so I can make it even softer than it already is. So these are all things that you can play with and kind of determine how you want yours to look. You can also, even if you want to, you can change the saturation of it, but you can go over here and choose different colors for that light to be. I want mine to be white, so I'm going to leave it there like that. The next thing I want to do is add a filter to it. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here and tap on filters, and I want to choose, if I scroll back here, there's one that I found that I really liked. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you do have the opportunity to choose filters. There's one that kind of gives it a little bit of a darker look, and then you can use the slider to play with that. So I'm going to do something, maybe something about like that. So we've got this light now coming into the frame, and we've adjusted a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do, you see the textures button there on the screen. I'm going to tap on textures, and I really like some of these film grains here. The one that I like the most is this kind of intense one here, and you can use the opacity slider to make it really prominent, or back it off just a little bit. So somewhere, I don't know, I'm going to go with something like that. So now I've got the image kind of the way I want it, and I'm going to go ahead and tap the share icon up in the upper right corner, and tap the share icon, and then I'm going to tap save, and it saved it out to my camera roll. So let's go just take a quick look at it. So there's the image now, and you can see it's full of texture that almost looks like snow. It's just kind of cool. If I wanted to, in the Light app, I could have even masked the texture out of the ground here, so it would have really looked like snow in the sky, but I didn't go that far. So now the next thing I want to do, I'm going to grab a favorite app called Distressed FX Plus. It works, and in fact, they're actually working on an update to this, so look forward to that sometime soon. So this is the interface for Distressed FX Plus. I'm going to tap the little camera icon in the upper left, and I'm going to choose a picture, and there's the one I want up there in the upper left corner. So I'll tap on that, and there's my image that I want to work with now. I actually kind of like it just the way it is, so I could be done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it into Distressed FX, and you'll notice you have filters and textures here that you can add to this. I'm going to choose one of these filters that gives it maybe a little bit of a cast, just a slight cast like that. And then I could choose any of these filters that reside in the app that are here. But what I'm going to do instead, this is one of the things I love about this app, you notice there's a custom button at the bottom. Well, custom means that you can go out and get your own texture. So I am going to tap on custom, and then I'm going to scroll to or navigate to an album that I've created out here that has all my textures in it. So I have one, I love FlyPaper Textures. They're a commercial product that you can purchase, but you can make your own textures, or there are other texture products too. But you see that I have the texture album there. I'm going to tap on that, and here are all these different textures. These are all FlyPaper textures, and I've simply loaded them to the phone and put them in an album. If you're interested in these, I have a code I'll include in the description of the video. You can get these textures at a discount. But I'm going to choose the one that has the heart in it up here at the top center, and there is my my image now. And so what I want to do now is edit that a little bit. So I'm going to tap on the slider icon over here on the right, and now I've got 4 things I can adjust. I've got up at the very top is a sharpening icon, which I could use. I don't think I'll need to do that. But then on the right is a contrast slider. So you can see I can make it very high contrast, or I can drop it down. I'm looking for something a little more subtle, kind of like that. And then at the bottom here, you can actually drop the color out of the texture. So you can bring it all the way up, which brings in the greens and the golds from the texture, or you can find a kind of a sweet spot in there, maybe about right there. And then you can also darken or brighten with the slider on the left. Now, the other thing you can do, you've got these two sliders at the very bottom. They're opacity sliders for the filter and texture that you've chosen. So there's the one, if I slide that all the way down, now we're just looking at the texture, but then I can pull this filter up a little bit and give it a little bit more of a yellow tone. Now, if I wanted to decrease the intensity of the texture, I'd go to this bottom slider and I can pull that all the way back. So what, again, I'm looking for a happy medium that has the tones that I'm looking for, and so on. Now, the other thing, you see the little circles at the end of each of those rows that with the two arrows. Those allow you to rotate each of those filters that you have there. So if I tap on the first one, it's not changing a lot because it's one solid color. But if I go to the bottom one and tap on that one, it's going to rotate that. See how there's one position, there's another position, there's the third position, and there's the fourth position. And I actually like that fourth position the best. So you can rotate your texture around until you get the light in that texture playing in the image the way you want. Let me just confirm that. I'm going to go through and look at it again. But yeah, I do. I like that the best, I think. And I'm going to bring my contrast up just a little bit. And I might change that a little bit. So now here's where you're kind of tweaking back and forth here. And this is where you're going to play to get exactly that tonal quality and color and everything that you want in the image. And let me drop that down a little bit. That looks pretty good to me. I think I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to go up to the share icon in the top and tap on that. And I'm going to choose the top box there with the arrow, the down arrow, and it just saved it to my camera roll. So let's go out and take a look. And there's our image, and you can see it almost looks like a starry night. I love the tonal quality. You got this beacon of light coming down. And that beacon of light, you can make that as harsh or as soft as you want, as long as you do it back when you're in the LensLight app. What I'll do with this now is I'll copy it by pressing down on it and choosing copy, and then I'll take it out to Image Blender, and I am going to paste it in here. And this is where I have my signature file here, and in Image Blender, over on the left is the image of the bin and the tree, and on the right is the image of the signature. And you can choose the Arrange button here, and you can move that or size it or put it anywhere you like. I'll just put it back down here in the corner and save that, and then I can drop the opacity on that so I can make it very faint if I want, kind of subtly being there. And then I'll save that, save it to my photos, go out and take a look at the camera roll, and there's our image with the treatment that we provided. Really fun, simple. You can have all kinds of different creative experiences with this and come up with your own thing. So hope you have a good time with this, and in the meantime, have a great holiday, safe one, and a happy new year. Take a look at my YouTube channel and give this a thumbs up if you found it useful. And yeah, anytime you have any questions, I hope you'll give me a call or shoot me an email or something like that. So anyway, thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.